Hello, I am Brother Bob again to do a message. I had thought today was a nice day and I had a little time. I thought I would certainly do a message here. Uh, this new location is kind of problematic. I thought my other location was nice enough, but the man with the dog whistling in the background, which is totally unexpected. Normally, no one's there. And then to the side, I had some people fishing. Uh, it is good to get out and enjoy the outdoors. And for those who are at the house and can't seem to get out, sometimes or don't want to get out, maybe it's raining or something, but sometimes watching it through a video, and there's so many times that you can watch a video, and sometimes it catches the true nature of things. Sometimes we enjoy watching a video of places we've been. Oh, I say, I've been there, I've done that, and but also sometimes it's different reasons. We're just not feeling up to it. So some of these videos I try to get more outdoors. The pictures are better, but in the process I pick up things such as there's a front loader tractor roaming around. Everything was somewhat peaceful this afternoon, and then this tractor shows up. That's working people, I guess. Uh, I work too, but we all got to do things. It just seems like you try to choose a spot, and it never seems to be peaceful enough. But anyway, as long as I can talk loud enough to be heard, and perhaps maybe not have any major distractions or interference with the audio. There was something interesting over here. There's a sign, and it's a little bit of a distance for me to see it clearly, but I kind of read through it. I'm going to try to read it again. Today I want to talk about something important. We've had this discussion a few times among friends, and I've read many things. This is one of the situations where I haven't exactly said, oh, this is our first time. I do want to talk about that. When I do things on this tablet and I say we are looking at this together, we are, as you watch me, Googling it and kind of reading through things. And it's for the most part the first time looking at many things. Some things, however, is not my first time Googling or first time researching or looking at things. Therefore, such as one example is what I want to speak of. I've had several different ideas on different videos, and as I say, in times past, I've got ideas of what I want to talk about, and make more videos, and I still want to continue, and I still have ideas. So one of the things that I'm going to talk about today, after I read this little sign over here, which is kind of interesting, is the idea of your pets, and especially dogs. Do your dogs go to heaven? Do your pets go to heaven? There was a survey done a while back. It was, I guess, around the Christmas times, and the question was asked: Do what do we do for Christmas? Something around that effect. But somehow they got the survey information to say basically that we spend 60% of our money on our pets at Christmas, versus the other 40% goes to friends and family. That's interesting, but I made a comment to a friend once. I said, this is interesting. I said, no matter what time of morning, how early you have to get up and go to work or do something, uh, it doesn't seem like that the dog is a moody, horrible morning person to deal with. The dog just jumps around happy, all excited, like it was just any other moment, to spend quality time with the person. Uh, so, uh, anyway, I did do some research, and I've done it in the past. The research of do dogs go to heaven? One of the things was that the Pope had said, I understand not the current one, but a few years back, that dogs do have a soul. Um, I guess soul is we could look at the definition of that. Uh, I don't really concern with the soul part as being the problem, whether or not they go to heaven. You're saying if they have a soul, they go to heaven. I do believe they have a soul. You pets are very special. Uh, there is a scripture in the Bible where it talks about the lion and the lamb will lay together in peace and harmony. So that would speak that animals will continue in the new world of the future. That we will not just be humans; we will have animals, pets, things like that also. And as always, we could not imagine that God created something that, and He says in Genesis, He made us to rule over it, but at the same time, He created it and gave us the ability to name them. Everything is important. Now, the dogs were generally domesticated around 1600 as pets, as true pets as we know them today. So, I mean, then we've had hundreds of years. That is more so after the Bible. Now, the first kind of pet I know of is actually considered the lamb, which represents the Lamb of God, but it is the Passover where they bring the lamb in and they take care of it, and they feed it, and they treat it as a pet for, I think right around 14 days before the sacrifice. So we can see that, pets have traveled along with us for a long time. I cannot imagine that pets would not follow their way on up into heaven. That's going back to the idea of there's a soul or not. Well, the pet obviously has personality, has life, and with life, I can't imagine that death is going to end with death no more. Now, I think about the fact also that we have the sin of the garden where Adam and Eve sinned, and that broke the bond. That put them into the situation where they would no longer be allowed into heaven. The pets, such as the dogs and every other animal, generally, doesn't operate under such circumstances. They didn't eat of the apple. They didn't have the devil tempt them. So the pets don't have to accept Jesus as their Savior. Remember, we do. Jesus came to sacrifice. We have to believe on Him. He says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes before the Father except through me." So we have to choose Jesus, and that is salvation to get us into heaven. The pets don't have to choose Jesus. They've already surely chosen heaven because God's creation, and He's going to bring them home. So let's hear the sign out for a minute. It's interesting. It's just one of these public service things you see in a park, but I've never quite seen one of these till today, and it's interesting because normally you see don't litter, don't litter. Well, this one's just kind of I don't know if exaggeration, but it just is their statement. Over here it says litter lasts this long. It says cigarette butts last 1 to 5 years. Well, that's interesting because to think all these cigarette butts, I've probably seen them laying out in the ground. Certainly they last way too long. So as a lot of people say, it's best to put those in a can and properly dispose of them in time. Metal cans are good. I've seen plastic cans that actually melt. I think the newer cigarettes don't say it's hot as long or something. Maybe they don't cause many troubles. But I've seen older cigarettes, people put them in the little plastic containers and they seem to start a little bit of a smoking fire. So anyway, so the next thing is aluminum cans, which is interesting enough because I would think aluminum cans would almost last forever. It says aluminum cans are 80 to 100 years. And I guess this is outside exterior, so we're looking at the fact that it, what do you call it, biodegrades with rain and what do we call it? And got a man out here playing disc golf, it looks like. So I was hoping I'd avoid that. I think I'm somewhat on one of his lanes. Actually, I think I'm on the first lane of the major one. So we move on to plastic bags, which is interesting enough. That's 10 to 20 years. Now, it's interesting enough that glass bottles are indefinitely. That's interesting enough, and it's interesting that some high-dollar Civil War bottles have been found that were worth thousands of dollars. So, yeah, I can definitely relate to that concept. And then down here, the tin cans that are 50 years, which to me is a little more of the aluminum cans, unless I guess you're talking about the tin cans where food comes in. So anyway, and then plastic bottles down here. Now that's where our big environmental problem is, and we can get so overloaded and stuff like that. And that is the 450 to actually 1,000 years. That's crazy because that's times, that's living 100, and that's 4 generations of people to start with, just because we're getting rid of plastic bottles. And I know years ago, they don't speak up much anymore, but the trash trucks used to go out and dump the trash into the ocean, the plastic bottles and everything else, and they'd find their way back. All right, this man's coming through, so we're gonna consider ending this here in a minute, maybe, if I need to, or I'll just wait a minute till he finds his way. Howdy. I'm not blocking your way, am I?
What's that? No, no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
That's the beginning of the first time, but you're not in the way at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we discussed it. They're out here playing disc golf, which is an interesting game in itself. I played a little of it. I need to play some more. They said the difference between disc golf is that the little frisbee, you throw it, and disc golf, it hums. It's a lot harder, and each disc has its own little design, such as it's an actual golf, same way golf clubs have a different way. It's an interesting sport to get into. I'm going to show you the disc golf chains maybe one other day. Maybe talk a little more about that. There's maybe a lesson on the chains in the Bible. Paul and Silas and God breaking people free of their physical chains and mental chains. And I haven't exactly thought enough on how I want to teach that one and speak of that one yet. It's just up on the list of concepts I have. So let's see, where am I at on time? I am at 12 minutes. That's all right. And so we will do my tablet thing here, which is customary, traditional, as you could say, I guess. All right. And as always, I know there's a slight interruption there, but we are here together. I want this to be more of not a situation where I'm just up here rambling and talking and telling people, you do this, and do this. You want to experience this like I experienced it. Here I am out in public. Here I am out in the outside. I think the Red Green show is something I took interest in, and his thing on duct tape's interesting. But he always talked to the audience, and many people talk to the audience as if they are there. And that's kind of how it is. You're looking through this camera lens on your side, but you're here, and that's somewhat of the reasons on the idea of doing this web browsing on my little tablet here. We kind of go and do it together. Not all this editing and all this rehearsing and all this other stuff. You're just out here, talking with me, listening with me. Now of course you say, well, I'm not talking because I can't hear you. Well, that's true, but I'm sure sometimes you're saying something to yourself like, oh, that's beautiful, or that's nice. I can't hear you, but I'm probably be doing the same situation if I was behind the camera. Oh, that's nice. Or, oh, that's interesting what he's talking about. Things like that. So yeah, I can't necessarily hear you, so we're not exactly doing a live podcast where we can interact with each other, but nonetheless, you're here listening to me. And so we're going to move on here to the important of this thing. So this video will hopefully won't be too much longer. I've been trying to keep them at 15 minutes for the upload time on them, because you go too long and it's just too much of a problem getting things uploaded and watching it, and it's just long rambling. If you want to see more, you can continue on with the next video, but I try to just cut everything down to where we have one subject at a time, so each video is more related to one subject. So let's go down here to do. Uh, Now everyone always asks, do dogs go to heaven? They even made a movie about it. Do all dogs go to heaven? Um, do, so a lot of times we refer to do dogs go to heaven? Of course, I think if we figured if dogs went to heaven, all pets would definitely follow through with the same classification of being a pet or being an animal with a life that passes on to heaven. Uh, but I think we'll do with the Google under do pets go to heaven because they're cats and everything that people is special. Uh, so it's interesting enough. Let's see. Uh, Now it's interesting if I do the first part. Do Bonitas need full sun? That's obviously a plant. Uh, but here we go to moving on with the pets. Do pets need passports? That's a whole nother that's a whole nother subject. I do understand that some travels the pets do need rabies vaccination shots and everything, but that's something else to research at another time. We're discussing Christianity, God, and heaven, and everything else. Just keep that in mind whenever you do travel with pets. Do some little research. There is, I think, a few more things that are necessary, obviously, for pets travel. Uh, I think there's, like I say, some rabies papers and stuff like that. Just that's even going across the border and things like that by car. So anyway, let's see here. Now we're going to move on to do pets go to heaven when they die? Now one of the things it says on my list here on the Google, will you see pets in heaven? Does the Bible say that pets go to heaven? Do pets go straight to heaven? And what does God say about pets? And let's see. And then we also have where other people searched for um, Bible verses that prove animals go to heaven. Then it's Psalms 36:6, dogs go to heaven. True stories of pets in heaven. Do dogs go to heaven by Billy Graham? Do cats go to heaven Bible verse? Now see there again, that's they mention cats, but if the cat and the dog makes it, that's just the idea of life of pets. Their life when they are over will go to heaven. Where do animals go when they die? Let's see. Now, where's this one at? True stories of pets in heaven. That's okay. Let's take a look at that one. Now, there's a book called Biblical Proof Animals Go to Heaven, and there's another one. Sylvia, her name's Sylvia Brown. All pets go to heaven. That's interesting too. So let's see. Here we are. It's true. All dogs go to heaven. Loyal son. Uh, let's see here. This is probably going to be it. Click on that. And it says it's in a case just an error. So I'm not in the best of probably internet out here, and I was a little concerned in the beginning. Um, let's see. Well, having a little authentication errors. Let's see here. Pets of Trust Our Hearts. One website. Here, maybe this is more like it. Well, I see my dog in heaven. You had me at wolf. Let's see. And one website in particular, neardeath.com, has multiple stories from those who say that their pets were among the departed souls that greeted them as they. Of course, I didn't click on it, but I'm guaranteeing you that's what it's going to continue on saying. And my internet has found its way to being a little stubborn today. So maybe in the future I will definitely have to move along out of this location. But I will tell you, let's see, one website. Yeah, this website is www.youhadmeatwolf.boutique. And I think you can do a Google search and read some of that yourself. In fact, I will probably say that I've done a little Google search here and got some ideas for you all to do a Google search also and look at some of the stuff I mentioned. Uh, so even with my limited internet, I pushed you in the right direction of things to look at, because I think you need to really do some in-depth study on this, way beyond just this information I give you, because there's everyone who's lost a pet, friends, family, everyone needs comforting, needs understanding that there's so much information out there on pets and why they will be in heaven. Now, over the years, I've studied it, told people the same thing, why they will be in heaven. From all of that study, it's not an exact verse that says that in the Bible it says pets will go to heaven, but there again, I've thought about it. I said I don't think it needs an exact verse. As important as it is, the Bible is about man getting to heaven. I think that the pets continue to be the ones that are not under the rule of law and the concept that of sin, where they sinned and they're not getting into heaven. I think they're okay. Um, and then this is something called bark has just come up. Dog is my co-pilot. And the studies say near-death experiences, will our dogs be waiting for us? At the end of our lives, loved ones, including dogs, may return. It's by Scott Jansen, August 2020, updated October 2021. I think I'll read a few minutes of this. I know we're going over 15 minutes, but I'll read a few minutes of it since it's come up. As I raised my head up from the ground to look around, I saw my deceased dog from my childhood bounding towards me. It was overwhelmingly wonderful. I felt completely at peace and totally happy. I was so excited to see her again, and I did not question the experience at the time. It was as if she had never died, and she was always been waiting for me to wake up from my nap in the grass. These words, taken from the case reports collected by the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, are from a young seaman who was recalling an experience that followed a life-threatening fall from a Navy pier. After losing consciousness, he found himself in an absolutely beautiful green field of grass with his beloved canine friend. After the reunion, he suddenly became aware that he was in the medical unit, and corpsman was shouting at him to wake up. The seaman later described these moments with his dog as very brief, but very real. There was not a single aspect of experience which did not feel real. The sensation of being transported from a life-threatening situation to a place of peace, meeting with deceased, being in bodily love and connection. Then finding oneself suddenly sent back is a consent was what are called near-death experiences. The term was coined by Raymond Moody, MD, PhD, in his 1975 book, Life After Death. It has identified some of the core aspects of these mysterious experiences. And then let's see, there's a lot more reading you can do. I'm seeing how long it is. Yeah, you'd be here. Would be here for another hour, and it might be easier for you to read at your own pace and do your own research. And we'll give you a little with these videos. And it did go ahead and get on up to the heart of the matter, where he speaks of meeting his dog and as a childhood pet. So the internet, like I say, was a little stubborn, but it did pop on up and did go ahead and give me some information, so we can clearly say that I was with you on this, and we together looked up this thing on the internet, as I've tried to do in all my videos through my tablet, doing it together. We looked it up and we were successful. So today I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I think this video is probably about 20 minutes now, so we cleared the minimum 15 that I really want to reach every time. And I've given you a lot to think about, and I've given you my opinion, but I've also told you pretty much the story of near-death experiences. And there's not a lot of them that come directly on pets, near as much as it comes from people. I think we love hearing both of them. It gives us so much hope and belief. And when you experience something that's so real, it's not a dream. It's familiar stories of the same people having the same experiences, seeing loved ones from the past. That's not things you see in a dream in the same way. I think you can form your own opinions to that. So anyway, we're going to close this out, and I'll make another video in the next few days, or in the near future.